Another round of extreme heat for your Wednesday, but also wildfire smoke threats. More on it coming up.
I'm News 12 Edric Robinson in East Flatbush outside the Rugby Library, which will double as a cooling center today with that dangerous heat and the possibility of wildfire smoke in our area. I'll tell you what you can do to protect yourself.
Plus, a man is threatened and robbed at knife point while inside a Graves End subway station. Neighbors are now reacting to this violence as police aim to catch that robber. Taking action and getting results here on 12, a playground in Coney Island sat idle for 2 years with no repairs. Now Astor Levy Park Playground is reopening for play. We'll take you there. Good morning and thank you so much for starting your Wednesday with us right here on News 12 Brooklyn. I'm Marcy Jones. Today we are on heat alert, so we've got some team coverage for you this morning. And we've got Edric Robinson outside already braving the mugginess. But first, let's go to meteorologist Monique Tawia. Hey, Monique, I see the orange behind you. I also saw some orange in the sky a little bit yesterday. What's that about?
And even today, taking a look at that Coney Island camera, you see a beautiful sunrise there. That's actually due to that haze. That Canadian wildfire smoke does make for a difference in the color of our skies. But before I get to that, this orange you're seeing here is in fact due to that heat advisory that's extended through tonight. It does end at 9 p.m. We've been talking about the heat, but today is expected to be the hottest of the week, with temperatures soaring upwards into those upper 90s. But I want to draw back to that smoke forecast here. The gray you're seeing on here is showing you on the lower end of the spectrum, but as we continue through today, you see this all moving its way through. That smoke is going to blanket our skies, and it's going to get really thick late in the day, especially around that sunset. So once again, we'll get to see some beautiful sunsets, but if you have respiratory issues, you want to be mindful of how much time you're spending outdoors, not only because of the heat and the humidity, but also because of this haze as it's expected to thicken later on today before lightening up tomorrow morning.
Thank you so much, Monique. And as she just mentioned, New Yorkers will deal with both extreme heat and smoke from those Canadian wildfires that could affect the air that we breathe. So let's get on out to News 12's Edric Robinson in Flatbush with what you can do to protect yourself. Hey, Edric.
Yeah, Marcy, I'm right outside the Rugby Library here. It's closed right now, but will open later today at around 10 a.m., serving as one of the city's cooling centers. And listen to this, even with the possibility of that wildfire smoke in our area, city officials are stressing that heat should be top of mind. Let me walk you through the alert warnings that we know today. The city says the heat is the bigger and more immediate danger today. And as temperatures rise outside here, homes without air conditioning can get even hotter. Now, some people may be wondering, if there's smoke in the air, should I stay home? The city says if you don't have AC, the answer is no. You want to head to a cooling center like this one here. A cool indoor space can help protect you from both the heat and any smoke outside. If you do have AC, you want to stay in your cool space, keep your windows closed, and set your air conditioner to recirculate the air. Also, you want to still check on those older family members and neighbors, especially anyone without air conditioning. Now, city officials are also saying that you can pick up a free KN95 mask at your Brooklyn Public Library branches. Also, call 311 if you want a listing of all the cooling centers nearest you. We'll have all that information posted on news12.com. In East Flatbush this morning, Edric Robinson, News 12.
Great advice there. Edric, thank you. A robbery inside a Graves End subway station has commuters saying, not again. Police say just after 7:30 yesterday morning, a 31-year-old man was approached by a stranger offering to sell him marijuana. But when the man declined, we're told the suspect pulled out a large knife, threatened him, and stole his phone before taking off. For commuters and those who just live in the neighborhood, it's just another crime and a growing concern for those who use the N train at the 86th Street station daily.
But over here it's kind of calm. It's very calm. It really don't have too much problems going on here. But this train station accumulates a couple of problems.
Is that the first time we kind of heard about somebody stabbing somebody else or jumping somebody else or punching somebody else? It's kind of shocking the time sometimes, but not really.
Now, back in February, a man was robbed of his wallet and slashed all over his body by a stranger as the train approached the same station. Right now, police are still searching for the suspect in the robbery. Anybody with information is asked to contact police. The man accused of slashing an 83-year-old woman in the head while on her way to church in Brownsville is expected to be arraigned today. Betty Ellerby says 36-year-old Shawnee Moore attacked her back on May 31st. We're told unprovoked, that man used a stick to hit her twice in the back of her head and then all throughout her body. It didn't stop there. A criminal complaint states that the attacker also stabbed her multiple times. Police say Moore is now charged with assault, criminal possession of a weapon, and endangering the welfare of an elderly person. The East Flatbush community is remembering a man that friends say never forgot his roots. Canoe Roquefort was shot and killed last week at a Harlem basketball tournament. Now friends and family members are honoring his legacy as police continue to search for his killer, with no leads currently. A memorial of candles now sits beside the basketball court at Wingate Park. That's where friends say that he often spent years playing, working out, and mentoring kids.
Keno loved being around kids. Keno loved helping people. Keno loved teaching, talking, speaking, and he used his influence with being in the streets versus college versus basketball. He merged all of that together to be an influence to, motivate kids.
Friends say that Keno also worked as an intake counselor, helping homeless families in Brooklyn. Police say there are still no updates in the search for his killer. A GoFundMe for Keno's funeral has raised nearly $10,000 as his family continues to make arrangements. A brazen late-night theft is all caught on camera in Williamsburg. More than $4,000 worth of antique rugs were stolen. Now the NYPD is hoping newly released surveillance video will help track down that thief. Police say the person on your screen struck last Wednesday at 2 in the morning. We're told it all happened outside of Shael, a vintage furniture store and cafe on Cook Street. Investigators say that suspect walked up to the store, took several handmade antique rugs displayed out in front, and then took off on foot. Those stolen rugs are valued at about $4,300. Police are now asking anybody who recognizes the person on your screen to give them a call. The FDNY confirming the fire that tore down a historic Bushwick church was not an accident. Flames tore through South Bushwick Reformed Church on Bushwick Avenue nearly a month ago. For 175 years, this was a place of faith and community, and it's now destroyed. Demolition crews could be seen there yesterday. The Department of Buildings tells us that church leaders have a plan to use their own contractors to stabilize the rectory of the church and allow the city contractors to demolish the heavily damaged sanctuary of the church. Meanwhile, the FDNY now confirms that fire was set intentionally last month.
It adds another layer of grief to this situation. Obviously, in hearing that news, we are even more disturbed and devastated that someone would intentionally target us, and we don't know why.
Now, if you want to learn more about supporting the church, you can head on over to our website at news12.com. Now, take a look at this Citizen app video showing thick smoke and heavy flames shooting from a building in Clinton Hill. This happened around 2:30 yesterday afternoon on Myrtle Avenue, right near Ryerson and Hall Streets. We're told the fire was contained to the roof of that building. A key food supermarket is on the ground floor and 6 apartment floors are above it. The FDNY says it took them about 120 fire and EMS personnel to respond, and the heat actually played a factor in this response.
In this type of weather, the intense heat always plays a role. It also slows down our responses because it takes more time to get people in position because the heat just slows us down a little bit, and we want to take a little more time to be safe.
Now, the FDNY says the good news is nobody was hurt. The cause of the fire is still being investigated. New this morning, a Vote 2026 exclusive. Congressman Mike Lawler is sitting down for his first one-on-one interview about a drunk driving arrest from his past. The exclusive with our senior reporter Tara Rosenblum comes as the two-term Republican runs for re-election and one of the most closely watched House races in our country. The arrest happened back on St. Patrick's Day of 2012, just hours after Lawler says he learned his father's cancer had spread to his brain.
I was actually coming back from a work event in Rochester and came home and my parents sat me down to tell me that my dad's cancer had spread to his brain. And certainly, when you hear that news, you understand the severity of it and, the very likelihood that, he wouldn't have too much more time.
Now, coming up tonight, make sure you tune in because Lawler explains why he decided to open up about that chapter of his life now, the conversation he had with his late father after the arrest, and we'll have reaction from his Democratic opponent, Kate Conley. News 12 is getting results after taking action as Asser Levy Park Playground reopens after a fire shut it down. We've got the details next.
Join us for an unforgettable